Someone said something to you. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe it was a comment. Maybe it was a sentence dropped so casually you almost missed how sharp it was. And in the moment, you laughed, you smiled, you let it pass. And then you went home. And around 11 p.m., replaying it in the kitchen, or in bed, or in the shower, the anger came. The real anger. The kind you didn't let yourself feel earlier. And before you knew it, you were doing it. Having the argument in your head. Saying the thing you should have said. Delivering the line that would have shut them down. Imagining the look on their face when you finally pushed back. You did this for an hour, maybe longer. They have no idea. This isn't overthinking. This isn't paranoia. This is your self-respect trying to come back to you. Here's what's actually happening when you argue with someone in your head. Your brain catalogs every social interaction in real time. Most of them get filed away cleanly. Said what you meant, heard what they said, both moved on. But sometimes a moment doesn't close. Something happened that didn't get resolved. Words landed that you didn't push back on. Disrespect that you absorbed instead of returning. Researcher Bessel van der Kolk's work on emotional memory shows that unresolved interpersonal moments, especially ones tied to identity or dignity, get stored differently in the brain. They don't fade like ordinary memories. They sit there, unfinished, waiting to be processed. And the imaginary argument is, your brain trying to finish them. You're not stuck in the past. You're trying to retrieve something you left there. There are actually two kinds of imaginary arguments, and they're very different. The first kind is about closure. Someone hurt you, you didn't get to fully say your piece, and your brain is just finishing the thought. These are uncomfortable, but they pass. You needed to be heard, even if only by yourself. Once the imaginary version is complete, you can usually let it go. The second kind is heavier. The second kind isn't about being heard. It's about dignity. The second kind happens when you laughed at something that wasn't funny, when you stayed quiet while someone made you smaller, when you let a comment land that, in retrospect, you should have refused. The imaginary argument that follows isn't your brain trying to communicate with them. It's your brain trying to undo a moment where you abandoned yourself. The line you keep rehearsing isn't about them. It's a way of telling yourself, I would have stood up. If I'd had a second more, I would have stood up. But you didn't. And some part of you knows it. Here's the thing nobody tells you about these arguments. You're not weak for having them. You're not crazy. You're not wasting your time. You're someone whose self-respect refused to leave the building even after you tried to leave without it. The anger that arrives at 11 p.m. isn't pettiness. It's information. It's telling you exactly which moments you let yourself be diminished in. It's telling you exactly where the line was, the line you didn't draw at the time. The work isn't to stop having imaginary arguments. The work is to listen to them. The next time someone says something that lands wrong, you don't have to perform the argument 3 hours later in your kitchen. You can just notice it in the moment and decide in real time whether you actually want to laugh at this one or not. You're allowed to push back. You're allowed to say that wasn't funny. You're allowed to take up the space your imaginary self keeps trying to take up for you. That voice in your head, rehearsing the line you didn't say, that's not your weakness. That's the version of you that wishes you'd defended her. If this hit, you already know which moment you're thinking about right now. Tell me in the comments. What's the line you wish you'd said? I'll see you in the next one.